You're listening to Live from the Heartland on WLUW 88.7 FM. I'm with my colleagues Michael James and Katie Hogan. This is Tom Clark, and we bring another Network 49 colleague to the microphone, Michael Harrington. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us early in the morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
You are head of the Community Safety Task Force for Network 49, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to?
Well, what we've been up to, representing Network 49 and residents of the 49th Ward, Rogers Park community, is bringing some citizen advocacy, adding our voice to the issues of a bunch of things, but mostly Chicago police accountability. Police accountability and oversight is a big issue in Chicago, and our organization has decided to join with the neighbors across the city who are concerned about the need for greater oversight, accountability, look at what the Chicago police are and are not doing. And there's two different kinds of projects we've launched. One is a citywide, joining a citywide effort, and then there's something locally. Citywide, we in June were invited by Northwestern Law School to join in a class action lawsuit against the City of Chicago, the Chicago Police Department, Police Superintendent, and several individual officers. A class action lawsuit challenging them for a history of past and current practices of excessive use of force. Excessive use of force in general, excessive use of force particularly against people of color, blacks and Latinos, and the class action lawsuit asks federal court to impose oversight over the Chicago Police Department. We are, the groups that join, I didn't mention them, join in this class action lawsuit include Black Lives Matter Chicago, Blocks Together, Brighton Park Neighborhood Council, Chicago Urban League, Justice for Family, Chicago NAACP, Women All Points Bulletin, several organizations, Northwest and South Side Chicago, are coming together saying that the practices not only have been happening, but they need to be stopped, and they require federal court oversight. Mayor Rahm, of course, is opposing any federal court oversight. He wants to dismiss this lawsuit and is challenging it with the city lawyers we pay for, are challenging this class action lawsuit.
In fact, that was some news that got made this week when he again came out against this approach to police accountability.
That's right. That's right. And one of the things we've done is join with the other community organizations asking for members of our neighborhood who have had bad encounters with the Chicago Police Department to call us or let us know so that they can be interviewed by our lawyers and find out if they're qualified to be part of this class action lawsuit against excessive use of force. The second thing we're doing is more locally. We initiated a great discussion with our local Rogers Park Police Department to talk about having some real dialogue, heart-to-heart discussions between officers who work in our community and residents who live in our community. And we're going to be resuming that after Labor Day to talk about planning to have this session. Regular public, the police department said maybe local officers said, how about a series of sessions where neighbors and cops talk to each other about what's really going on our streets, Rogers Park.
I thank you, Michael Harrington, for that rundown of what we've been doing in that committee and what's still going on. I think it's a fine line we have to walk, isn't it, to do both of the things you just described, both develop this dialogue that you've begun with the local commander and some of his community relations guys, and also to hold the larger system accountable for what we know has been going on for decades. How do you dance on that line, man?
I think the most important thing is that we have the support of neighbors who understand that there is a system-wide issue that's been going on for over 100 years with police accountability. This is not a new issue. It didn't start with Mayor Rahm. It didn't start with Mayor Daley. Maybe these two past mayors have let things get worse, but it's an over 100 years old issue. So neighbors are concerned about it either from, number one, moral and ethical position that people should not be hurt by the police and officers we pay, or neighbors are concerned about just financial. The cost of police, lack of police accountability is in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
And that's what we pay out every year to citizens and their families who've been abused. So there's a system-wide big issue, but on the local level, neighbors again, are in Rogers Park especially, have good, moderate, and bad interactions with local police. And I don't think it may be a fine line, because some of the officers are concerned about the fact that we're looking at the larger global issue. These officers who work in our neighborhood are not the ones responsible for creating the system-wide policies that have been going on for 100 years. We're looking at that. But they are responsible and they are accountable as people who live and work in this community, and we see every day. And they are willing to talk with us, willing to open up and share what their perspective is of working in our streets. Our neighbors want to share their perspective when they're interacting with these officers. So I think what's really great is at Rogers Park is people who can chew gum and walk at the same time. We must do this. We must. The issue of police accountability, to me, is one of maybe in the top 10 list of issues that aldermen should be concerned about. And I know one of the questions is, what can people listening to this, our neighbors, do?
Yeah.
Number one, around the city, and certainly in our own ward, make sure your alderman knows that you care about this issue, and you expect your alderman to be speaking up and talking about and pushing for police accountability. Right now, the mayor's office and the Chicago Police Department's Federation of Police, the police union, are negotiating a new contract. There's no public oversight of that police contract negotiations going on. And the alderman did raise some noise about it 3 months ago when negotiations started, but they're still going on right now. There's absolutely no public information being released about the status of negotiations, what's at stake, how can we get some reforms implemented in the new police contract. Aldermen should be at the forefront of raising that issue, along with schools, housing, and a couple of other top 10 issues for them.
You know, it blows me away that Ram says that we don't need federal oversight because the police department has made the corrections necessary. It's, as you point out, these issues have been going on for over 100 years. McCormick-Donald was killed only a couple of years ago, and it blows me away that the mayor can say that, well, we've overcome the criticisms and we've corrected the issues.
Well, he's lying. I mean, really, we're getting used to this, and we should call it what it is. We certainly have gotten used to calling it what it is when it comes out of the mouth of 45, when he says, oh, it's the biggest inauguration gang ever, and everything else that has come out of his mouth since. It's usually couched in some absolute mistruth or alternative facts or whatever.
All facts.
Yeah. So no, I mean, what Michael just said about now is the time for people to understand that we need community support and community activism on the part of oversight is absolutely true, absolutely necessary, and don't let people feeling like, oh, I want to defend Chicago against Trump and his many lambastings of the city. Really, do you think that comes into play a little bit, Michael? Harrington? Yeah,
well, certainly a lot of politicians would want us to focus on just what's happening in the White House.
Thank you. Right.
We have to focus on what's happening in our neighborhood first, and also be able to focus on what's happening nationally. So I'm not going to let my attention be diverted.
Right.
We have 50 aldermen in Chicago. Their attention should not be diverted from pressing immediate needs of our citizens right here. It's easy to jump up and down and say, oh, we're concerned about immigration, what we're concerned about. The list is long. That's just one issue. And all of the aldermen are happy to jump on that, but there's a lot of things being overlooked. Public education is huge. Funding schools issues is huge. Housing and affordable housing and homelessness is huge. Police accountability is really huge. And again, I want to reassert, aldermen should be responsible for taking the lead on these issues and helping champion our demand for justice and accountability from the people we pay.
Can you talk a little bit about what these conversations with the local commander have been like?
It's amazing. They've been good. They've been very good, especially with the Sergeant Sisk, who is the community relations sergeant, who's been on the force for I think 30-some years. You know, they want to talk about, the police talk about, from their perspective, how they have felt attacked, how they felt individual officers who don't have long lists of complaints, who haven't pulled their gun out in the past 10 years to shoot somebody. These officers feel like they are personally being accused of the long list of injustices that people are aware of. They feel, some of them feel like they're doing a decent job, trying to be responsible, and they want residents to hear their perspective. We want to listen to them, of course. We want them to hear our perspective too, because everything hasn't been just honey and sweet roses. And we need to sit down and talk honestly with it, but they're open to discussion, and they want to do it because it's never been done before in this community. Cops and neighbors sitting down, face to face, you know, reporters writing down anything, no tape recording, sharing from their heart what they feel. Because we have to live and work together. That's the bottom line, and cops see that. What
can regular folks do who are concerned about this issue to plug in?
Well, I think, of course, go to the Network 49, network49.net website and sign up and let us know that you care about it. Send us an email, join the organization through our website. The second thing I said earlier, be sure you let your alderman know that police accountability and public safety are issues for you too. And that's Alderman Joe Moore here in the 49th Ward. Michael?
I'm just thinking that this is a good thing that you're doing and that the community is doing, and it is really an opportunity for us to be more closely involved with the police and work in a collective way to make things better in our community.
Could you make a final pitch to folks you'd like to hear from in particular who might have experienced encounters with the police that didn't quite go the way they thought?
Well, of course, we've been asked on our website and through our emails to contact me, Michael Harrington. My email address is michaelharrington123@gmail.com. Write to me, michaelharrington123@gmail.com. Let me know with your contact information. I'll talk to you and refer you to the lawyers at Northwestern University who are representing this class action lawsuit, because they are looking for citizens that have righteous complaints to come forward.
Michael Harrington, thank you so much for doing this kind of work as a neighbor and a taxpayer and homeowner and all that. Really important behind the scenes work, and hopefully it'll bear good fruit, because we certainly need that in Rogers Park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you are